Welcome back to Syed Abdul Podcast. Together with me today is Syed Abdul Syed Saddiq. Syed, we are going to talk about something yang people talk about every day, but we have not seen the action yet lah. Cakap dulu, which is reform. Okay, and there are many aspects to reform. I don't want to go into every aspect of it. Yang mustahak hari ini ialah about political funding reform. Saya nak mulakan dengan itu. Sebabnya inilah yang dijanjikan dulu.
Betul.
Ya, ramai pemimpin-pemimpin kita, termasuklah daripada UMNO, bekas UMNO, and yourself, dan kalau kita tidak selesaikan masalah political fund ini, maka siapa yang ada kuasa tak kena tuduh lah. Tapi bila mereka berhenti besok, mereka akan dituduh juga. Sebab politik memerlukan wang. Dan kita tidak very clear source of funds kita, siapa yang boleh derma. Jadi kalau kita nak duit, we must ask from some sponsor.
Correct.
Sponsor tu, it could be a tauke, it could be a godfather, it could be anybody. And nobody give us for free. So there must always be a quid pro quo. You know, I give you this, you give me that. But then that's when MACC comes in to those people yang dia nak pilih lah. So I think for the sake of the country, kadang-kadang as a Malay, I feel malu. You know, all the leaders yang masuk jail, yang kena tuduh ni semua top Malay leaders. And we know it's all related to political funds. Yeah? Okay, they may have other ulterior motive, tapi selalunya ceritanya begitu. Yeah? So we need reform in how we raise money for politics.
Betul.
Yeah. You, I know, have spoken about it. You setuju dengan reform. And it's not difficult to do. You just have to make sure government gives some money to the political parties yang recognized, yang viable. And then you can also collect from the private sector. You audit the accounts. You tengok siapa sponsor. That's what you need to do. Do you think your fellow parliamentarians support this move?
Sejujurnya saya bukan setakat menyokong, tetapi kalau saya boleh kongsikan sedikit latar belakang, selepas saya dengan sahabat-sahabat di Parlimen berjaya meluluskan pindaan perlembagaan undi 18, saya bangkitkan isu akta pendanaan politik dan pilihan raya di Kabinet. Dan masa tu Kabinet memberikan peluang kepada saya untuk lead runding dengan parti-parti dan untuk bentangkan dekat dalam Majlis Presiden Pakatan Harapan. Dan pada masa tersebut saya jumpa dengan Ketua Pengarah SPRM, mantan Ketua Pengarah, jumpa dengan wakil-wakil parti, dan ada negosiasi. Dan kita ada draft awal yang plan asalnya adalah untuk bentangkan pada bulan Mac April tahun 2020. Tetapi selepas gerakan Sheraton, ia dikuburkan lah. Tapi saya ingat mungkin sekarang akan dikembalikan semula. We have to give credit to the former Minister of Law, Tan Sri Wan Junaidi. Sekarang Tan Sri Tun Wan Junaidi dah jadi governor. So he also led further negotiations dan sepatutnya dibentangkan sebelum pilihan raya, tetapi kerana pilihan raya awal tidak jadilah. Tapi perkara ini sangat penting, sir, because you rightfully pointed out. Kalau tak, sesiapa yang berada di kerusi pembangkang akan melalui situasi sangat susah, dan sesiapa yang berada dalam kerajaan will also be in a very difficult position kerana apa jalan yang sah untuk kita raih dana. Kalau tak, yalah, hari ni saya dalam kerajaan, I raise funds, and when I'm in opposition, that will be used against me. Tapi yang paling merisaukan pada hari ini adalah rakyat, to the people. Kenapa saya katakan perkara ini? Kerana apabila kita tidak ada framework yang jelas, so kalau ada salah seorang ahli perniagaan yang datang kepada saya dan saya menteri, saya kata, okey, tak apa, kamu sumbang kepada parti saya dan saya berikan kamu kontrak ini, rundingan terus 20-30% masuk ke dalam akaun parti. That's the old practice. If you read political funding for UMNO previously, itulah caranya. You tengok penubuhan fleet group, percentage, nominees, itulah cara. It's well known. It's openly known. Saya dulu salah seorang researcher, so I look into this. So that's the legal way. Tapi sekarang legal way tu dah jadi illegal lah. So it's slightly convoluted. Tetapi akhirnya rakyat yang terima padahnya. Kerana cost contract tu akan meningkat. The cost of doing business will increase. Cost hari hidup secara tidak langsung turut akan meningkat juga. So on both ends ada masalah. One, there's a lack of governance. Kedua, trickle downnya adalah rakyat akan terima padahnya. So saya rasa benda yang paling mudah adalah untuk kita ada Akta Pendanaan Politik Pilihan Raya supaya ia jelas. Dekat Amerika Syarikat, kalau lihat presidential election, they spend billions.
Yes.
But it's all audited, it's done transparently sampai ke satu tahap orang boleh tahu siapa yang sumbang, berapa jumlah. I mean, you don't have to even become the presidential nominee of a party. Bernie Sanders, dia kalah pilihan raya parti je. Tapi dia membelanjakan 250 juta American dollar. Malaysian ringgit, that's more than $1 billion.
Yeah.
Dia belum jadi presidential nominee pun. So, to say that money doesn't exist in politics, it does. Tetapi selagi kita tidak ada kerangka yang jelas, selagi itulah pertuduhan politik, tekanan, selagi itulah rakyat akan terima padahnya dengan the increase in the cost of doing business. So we need this political funding act dan dia perlu dibuat secepat mungkin supaya tidak ada lagi masalah yang sama berulang.
But what do you think the MPs now? Would they support you?
Mungkin saya ni optimis. Saya rasa walaupun tak ada sokongan daripada peringkat awal, tetapi jikalau ada keberanian untuk membentangkan akta tersebut dan ada perbahasan secara terbuka, saya rasa rakyat akan mendesak supaya MP menyokong. Sama seperti undi 18. Saya ingat bila saya bentangkan awal-awal sampai saya kena tarik kali pertama, sokongan tak ada. Tetapi selepas anak muda bangkit, bangun, bersuara. So we need to have a discussion. But what are your views about this? Sebab you served for a long time in cabinet.
Tak, saya sekejap. I'm the shortest reigning cabinet member in the history of the country. But I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
I did what I could. Jadi, balik kepada political funding law ni, saya rasa Azalina ni, dia menteri yang in charge of institutional reform.
Yeah.
Ya? Saya rasa cadang kepada dia, this is the easiest to do lah.
Yeah.
Ha? Dia tak ada kontroversi bangsa, negara, ke apa. You know, it's all about how to run a proper election.
Betul.
To be fair. So I hope Azalina will do this simple thing first. Put the bill in Parliament and then mobilize the MPs to support. Everybody will benefit.
Yeah. Betul.
Otherwise, when you lose power base, so they will come after you.
Yeah.
You know, because that's the trend in our country, which is very primitive in a lot of ways. Okay, so now I just want to the reform that I would like to see also is this separation of Attorney General kuasa dengan public prosecutor.
Yes, I cannot agree more.
Kita di Malaysia ni, yalah, banyak orang cakap kita demokrasi. Kalau demokrasi, kita mesti ada check and balance. Separation of powers. All this Montesquieu punya theory lah. But in Malaysia, of course Montesquieu did not know Malaysia. So we don't have that separation and check and balance the way that is ideal, you know. Kita semua is controlled mainly by the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister controls Parliament, the legislative. He puts the Speaker there. And then he controls the executive, of course, cabinet, which includes the enforcement agency, like police, custom.
All placed under the Prime Minister's office.
Yes, and the Attorney General.
Yeah.
So the only element or segment yang, to me, is independent in our country is the judiciary.
Correct.
Yeah, thank God. You know? And I think our Chief Justice has done well to protect the judicial independence. Yeah. That is very good. But that's not enough. You know. So the one missing link, in my view, is the Attorney General, because he is both the public prosecutor and the advisor to the Prime Minister.
Correct.
Jadi, saya cadangkan, we split the thing. And we don't need constitutional amendment. We just need legislation to create the Public Prosecutor's Office. Bila dia buat keputusan nak tuduh orang tu dan orang ni, dia buat tanpa campur tangan daripada Jabatan Perdana Menteri atau jabatan mana-mana.
Betul.
Because he is separate. Dan the Attorney General, like in other countries, like in Australia, in England and so, he has a discretion to discontinue certain action.
Yeah.
Tapi lazimnya, that is done by the Public Prosecutor's Office.
Betul.
And if he wants to overrule the public prosecutor, he has to go to Parliament and explain. You know, so
that's interesting. I didn't know that. So perlu dibawa ke Parlimen untuk diperjelaskan.
This is what happened during Margaret Thatcher's time, when the public prosecutor's office wanted to prosecute certain case regarding the sale of aircraft to Saudi Arabia. And but the prosecution the Attorney General stopped the prosecution because it involves the prince or the heir to the throne of Saudi Arabia. It will involve national security issues and international issues. On that ground, Margaret Thatcher put a stop to the prosecution. So, adalah kes-kes tertentu on national security, kita boleh guna discretion budi bicara Attorney General. Tapi 99% of the cases will be decided by the public prosecutor. Jadi apa salahnya Zalina buat rangka ni? Have a proper public prosecutor. There are so many good lawyers who can become public prosecutors from the government as well. Tapi separate from the AG's office. Okay, this is something that I think you should initiate and push. Because kalau tidak, everybody will come, not everybody, but kita dengarlah political persecution. Tun Daim kata persecution, Mahyudin kata persecution, Mahathir kata political persecution. I don't know, Ismail Sabri kalau dia kena charge pun, he will say the same thing. So, to avoid all that, we have to do this. So, again, my question to you, how are you going to get this moving? Katalah government buat tak tahu.
Saya rasa kita perlu meletak muka kepada reform ini. Iaitu pada tahun lepas banyak kes-kes berskala besar digugurkan dan jelas ada campur tangan politik walaupun ada yang nak nafikan. Kalau kita ikut kenyataan-kenyataan sebelum pilihan raya yang mengatakan bahawa sokongan bersyarat dengan kes digugurkan, bukan saya yang kata, tapi mereka yang berkuasa hari ini yang kongsikan. Tapi tak apa, that's the past. The point is, how do we move forward? Saya ni I care about moving forward. So we have a face already. So kalau kita nak buat, inilah jalan terbaik untuk reform supaya pada masa yang akan datang Perdana Menteri ataupun Kabinet tidak akan dipersalahkan lagi. That's one way. Kedua, I want to go further. Tak boleh hanya di peringkat pendakwaan. Peringkat siasatan tu perlu bebas juga. Sekarang institusi tersebut diletakkan di bawah pejabat Perdana Menteri ataupun JPM. So there is an issue. Sebab itu tambah-tambah lagi apabila sebelum SPRM keluarkan kenyataan, pemimpin politik dah keluar kenyataan dulu. In power dalam pembangkang lain lah. In power dah kata. So
malah Perdana Menteri pun kita dengar cakap dulu daripada polis tu.
So I'm trying my best to be as new. You dah very openly talk about it.
No. This is in the newspaper.
Correct. You're right. So saya rasa dalam bab ini, sebab tu untuk Malaysia jadi negara yang maju, kita perlu pastikan bahawa kita tidak hanya berlega di kalangan politik personality, tetapi politik institusi. Bayangkan satu hari tak kisah siapa pun yang berada di kedudukan tertinggi negara, institusi itu melangkaui kuasa politik. And that's the dream, I mean, kita dulu selalu kritik Amerika Syarikat bawah Donald Trump, tapi to their credit, their institutions were strong enough to ensure that there is a peaceful power transition. Dan pada masa yang sama, kalau ada salah laku daripada kehakiman, pendakwaan dan yang lain, masih ada kuasa dan tata kelolanya tersendiri. Tetapi di Malaysia, pengasingan kuasa tu walaupun diwawarkan, realitinya is much weaker than expected. Tapi saya setuju dengan Datuk. I think one final beacon of hope in Malaysia is our judiciary, dan saya berharap bahawa itu akan kekal. Sebab tu bagi diri saya, orang kata tak apa, you attack je the judge, attack the whole system, buat saja macam apa Datuk Seri Anwar buat dulu. I said no. I mean today, to the credit of our system, while there may be mistakes, there's an appeal process. You don't have to disrepute the whole system. You have to burn it down to make Malaysia a better place. Sebab tu dalam bab ini saya berharap institusi lain akan diberikan bidang kuasanya tersendiri, seimbang imbang, supaya akhirnya tidak boleh dikawal kerana kuasa dipusatkan di tangan seorang pemimpin politik yang berada di puncak kuasa.
But the problem is this. The question of integrity ni, kadang-kadang you cannot legislate. You cannot make policy. You can make policy, but it doesn't work. Integrity, kemampuan ataupun kesanggupan civil service ke, civil servant ke, police officer ke, orang politik ke, ahli parlimen. Integrity is quite personal. It must be. It's through our education system, and but unfortunately for a religious country, or seemingly religious country, we lack that moral fiber pada saya lah, you know. Seolah-olah semua orang takut kepada arahan politik. You know, orang yang tak sepatut takut lah.
Betul.
You know?
Betul.
And tapi how do you change this?
I mean, sebab itu bagi diri saya tak hanya mengharapkan kepada integriti individu tetapi integriti institusi yang melangkaui individu tersebut. Saya beri contoh paling mudah. I think you give actually excellent examples lah. Kita guna konteks pada hari ini ya. Yalah, mungkin di atas faktor-faktor tertentu ada kes-kes besar yang perlu digugurkan. Okay, let's say that was done last year. Dibawa ke parlimen. So you said Margaret Thatcher did exactly the same. Tetapi janganlah di parlimen hanya katakan, oh ini bukan saya, ini adalah budi bicara dan kuasa mutlak peguam negara. What's the reason? Apa sebabnya macam hari ini pun ada perbincangan berkenaan soal pardon. Okay.
Pardon. We should talk about pardon.
we can have another discussion. Tapi apa penjelasannya? Janganlah kata, oh ini adalah bidang kuasa pihak tertentu, kita pun sucikan diri kita, tolak. Dulu kita salahkan AG, sekarang kita salahkan institusi lain, which is not right. You should, these institutions are top institutions. We should not be smeared by politics or partisanship. Kita tak nak ambil tanggungjawab, kita salahkan yang lain. Tapi at least have the guts to explain why. Apa sebabnya? Adakah ia kerana faktor I mean, whether it's faktor politik ataupun sumbangan sebelum ini kepada negara, but that must be explained in parliament. So I think these issues we lack. Kita suka berselindung di sebalik kuasa, kita salahkan semua yang lain, tetapi kita sendiri tidak ingin ambil tanggungjawab tersebut. So I think that's why for me, sir, it's not about relying on the integrity of the person. If the integrity of the person fails, then it moves to the integrity of the institution. Because institusi itu melangkaui personality. Now, if the whole institution fails, then we are about to become a failed state. So let's hope we won't go there.
Yeah. Okay, let's hope that we will get some integrity into the system lah. Yeah. Institutional integrity is a collective thing. Yeah.
Betul.
Yeah. So, but we need guidance and we need examples from the top lah. Yeah. Selalunya, like they say lah, you know, if you want to buy a fish, you want to buy a fresh fish, you look at the eye, you look at the head. If it's fresh, it's fresh. If it's rotten, it's rotten. You know. So, okay, we have talked about the reform, and then we go. This third part, the third final part, we go into politics proper lah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.